Bee sting therapy is a worldwide and well-established alternative medical practice used to treat diseases such as rheumatism and has been practiced for thousands of years. It's medically effective and safe traditional Chinese medicine. The morbidity of the anaphylaxis due to this therapy is 1 in 42,000 people sessions. There were more than 100,000 therapy sessions yearly using this method in the US and more than 10 million therapy sessions conducted in China. In China, there has been more than 300,000 people formally trained in the administration of this therapy. More than 10,000 people are professors or chief medical doctors who provide the therapy to public, conduct education, and research its scientific merits. The therapy is a legal medical practice provided by hospitals and clinics in China. No one has died due to the ancient therapy when it's conducted by a licensed medical personnel in the US or China, as bee sting therapy treatments are safe as long as the practitioner is a licensed medical professional. Mr. Tom ZAW is a licensed acupuncturist in California. His acupuncture clinic is located in Alhambra. He provides bee sting therapy to his patients besides acupuncture and other traditional Chinese medicine. Most of his patients come from a low-income family, and some of them are even illegal immigrants. The price is $20 to $40 per session, which includes consultation, acupuncture, and bee sting therapy, as well as Chinese herbal medicine. He has 2 master's degrees and 1 PhD degree. One of the master's degree is from the University of California, Davis. In addition, he was also a visit scholar in UC Berkeley in 1989.
The difference between Dr. Tom and other acupuncturists and even doctors has been his knowledge and how he goes about it. He not only treats you, but he also helps you understand how to change your lifestyle, how to make yourself feel better, what to eat, not to eat, and more importantly, just educate you about your own health and what causes other things. So a lot of the times people don't just physically get better, but they mentally get better. And this clinic has grown so much, and we don't advertise, we don't promote. It's all word of mouth. People heal mentally, physically, and then they bring their families, their generations, other generations, their neighbors, and on and on and on. The clinic keeps growing, not because people believe in it, but because they actually feel the difference, and that's what makes them into believers. So before we stopped the bee treatment, he used to do acupuncture first, and bee sting was the last resort. It was something that he didn't offer until he saw that there was nothing else he could do. And when he would do bee stings, it was amazing to witness because it took 1, 2, maybe 3, and that was it. There was a different method. He created a method, a way to test it, a way to test to see if somebody would have a reaction, and then he would go on forth doing the treatment. Otherwise, he would say no. So it was very interesting learning from him and working with him. But more importantly was witnessing and seeing how much people loved the treatment, felt better, and would come back for it or bring others for it. Aside from that, we stopped over a year ago, but he continues to teach people about it and talks about it, and even if they have to go to Mexico, he tells people that it's worth it. So hopefully in August when we go to court, we can win the right to continue the treatment and be able to do it. So this is Monica. She's been with us. She came here about, how many years ago was it? 3 years ago? 3 years ago, we started the bee sting treatment on her. And she recovered. She was a lot better. She was able to talk. She was able to pronounce the words better. She was walking, but they diagnosed her with, what is it, ALS? ALS.
ALS.
ALS. And
It's a kind of multiple sclerosis.
yes, it's like a multiple sclerosis. And so we were taking care of her. Afterwards, she stopped coming. She went back home and they dropped her in her head. And she hit her head and she was not able to talk after that. She was not able to walk. When she came back a few months ago this year, her body was very tense. She couldn't move. Her legs, her hands, even her hands were like this. She was in a lot of pain. You couldn't touch her. If you touched her, she would cry. And so we couldn't do bee sting anymore. So we told her that we can only do acupuncture. So unfortunately,
How good is it?
we haven't been able to make her recover like we did the first time. But as you can tell, she can now move her arms. She can now actually, she's showing, demonstrating that she can now move around, which is something she couldn't do. And her legs, she can also move her legs now. So this is something she was not able to do when she came back, which is why a lot of doctors cannot say what exactly she has anymore. So we ask her to come every week so that we can continue the treatment because it makes her feel better. She cannot pronounce the words. Her tongue rolls back and it goes into her throat. So she has to carry a towel just so that she can have a saliva and everything go here.
No, man.
And Dr. Tom does not charge her at all. No money. Her treatment here is free. Money is not an issue. For anybody that has a problem and needs it, he doesn't charge. She's been with us and we're more than happy to treat her and we're hoping that we can continue bee sting treatment for her and have her recover.
On August 3rd, 2014, Tom received an accusation from California Acupuncture Board. What was the reason for the litigation? Bee sting therapy is beyond the scope of practice for a licensed acupuncturist. If convicted, he would face penalties of hefty fines and a license suspension. The assertion of the California Acupuncture Board is as so. The bee's venom is considered to be Chinese medicine or herbal therapy, belongs to the category of health food if it is topically or orally administered, which is not illegal. However, the use of bee stinger in the delivery mechanism of its venom is not within the standard of care, which implies that it's an injection. Acupuncturists may not use injections. Therefore, the use of bee sting therapies violates the provision of California Acupuncture Code. But John Dratz, the lawyer for ZAW STUDIOS, pointed out that bee venom is unanimously considered to be herbal medicine or herbal supplement. Bee sting therapy is the use of live bee stingers as a delivery mechanism to deliver venom into the body. It is not an injection in the strict sense. The process is termed stinging, belonging to the category of traditional Chinese medicine or tropical herbal therapy. So far, according to the investigation report, no patients have suffered any adverse reactions from the bee sting therapy in his clinic. Right now, the focus of the dispute between the two sides is how the venom reaches into the body in the end. Zaw's clinic still continues to be open for business, but has stopped providing bee sting therapy. The trial conference is August 3rd, and in fact, there are no provisions in the US regarding bee sting therapy. Join us and come fight for your future, and fight for a better healthcare system in the United States.